Saturday Social is powered by EA Sports FIFA 23 with PlayStation.
Only one place to start. It is a sort of mid-season break, as we know, which is very rare for the Premier League season. So it's perfectly timed to get our guests to pick their Premier League team of the season so far. The rules are quite simple, this one, aren't they? This is not muck about.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got the Saturday Social whiteboard out here, haven't we? We've each got an 11. Yes. We're going to be debating to get an 11 together, basically. Okay. If we can't decide on a player, me and Smithy will decide based on the best argument put forward. Okay. Happy with the 4-3-3?
Yes, delighted.
Roughly 4-3-3. Let's not waste any time. Let's find a goalkeeper.
James is really happy, isn't he? He's really good, in a positive mood.
Yeah,
he's
too excited. I keep forgetting I'm on telly.
He's just buzzing to be on the screen.
Yeah. Who you putting forward in goal?
Shall I go?
Yeah, go on.
Standout performances. With goalkeepers, you can dive into stats a little bit, but generally I'm kind of like eye test on this one. And I think in terms of standout moments, making saves, celebrating those saves, I'm going to go with Dean Henderson.
Oh!
He's made a lot of saves. I know they're bottom of the league, but he has been the standout player, I think, for Nottingham Forest this year. Some huge saves, as I say, penalty saves as well. I was struggling a little bit with goalkeepers, and I think a lot of my picks are kind of players that have exceeded expectations for me or sort of like caught my eye, and he has had some performances that have done that.
HP.
I don't disagree. I do think Henderson's been really good, but I think Nick Pope for me has been a standout keeper for me. Very, very important into Newcastle's season and the reason why they're in the top four at the precise moment. And I think he's been called up for England for that precise moment. In the season. So yeah, I think there's no
on that then. The two English
there.
keepers. Do you think Henderson should have got the call up to the English squad?
Do you know, one thing I would say is Pope single-handedly got us relegated from the Nations League, which is a shame.
That's harsh.
Against him.
Wow.
Very harsh.
Kind of.
That's
actually,
terrible.
that's not fair because England were already relegated. Actually.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I do wonder because that game that he played against Germany, his kicking was pretty poor, but Newcastle have been amazing this season. So
I think he's a keeper that's going to get better and better. And I think with Newcastle, I think he's found the right team for him, and he's only going to get better. And I think it's very easy for us to argue, but
you're putting him on there, played every minute.
Hang on.
Oh, sorry. My hand
that seems
slipped.
disrespectful.
My hand slipped.
So you guys carry on.
Where's Alisson? Are we just ignoring Alisson here?
I think it's easy to say Alisson. We could be here all day and just put Alisson, but
based
we're talking
on what
about
with Alisson as well.
Yeah.
Based on the fact that without him, I think Liverpool would be even bigger mad. I've never seen a keeper save so many one-on-ones.
Well, he's conceded quite a lot of goals this season, and he hasn't.
Yeah, he's obviously got the best defensive record in the league alongside Arsenal this season. But, we're seeing Dean Henderson put forward here, who's conceded one of the most amount of goals in the entire league. So
True, that is true. But I think the theme for me with all of this is players that have done better than I was expecting.
Okay.
And Alisson, there is a certain level with him that you do generally expect. He is amazing at one-on-ones. He's best in the world. And if this was best 11, I think Alisson is in, but it's not. It's team of the season so far. So it feels I always lean towards.
We need a decision.
I think. Do you know what? I want Nick Pope.
Yeah, I'd like Dean Henderson. You should.
So you guys, I think.
Nick Pope does have the third best save ratio in the Premier League this season, above Dean Henderson. Played every minute in Newcastle's 14 games. Conceded the joint fewest Premier League.
And there you have it.
If we're looking at the statistics, our two top keepers, and of course he did get ahead of Tim Freeman as well. So should we go with that? Should we move on to right back? I hope you've picked who I think you've picked because this guy. How good? Do you think it's
you both picked him?
Yeah.
Nice.
Do you think he's got the credit he deserves? Because Trippier has been immense for Newcastle, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Not just defensively, but also what he offers with his assists, with his free kicks, with his set pieces. Was this an easy one for you both?
Easy.
So easy. I think he's been a great player for a really long time.
Yeah.
But you're right. Obviously left Spurs to go to Atletico Madrid, but under a bit of a cloud. And I think when we've spoken about right backs, often people they don't put him in the conversation, and he's just gently risen to the top of all of them now. In terms of his creation, in terms of set pieces, he's amazing. I think he's got the second most assists after De Bruyne, and he makes other players that we'll talk about maybe later on so much better as well. He's a playmaker for Newcastle.
Yeah, most passes into the opposition box and second most chances created from set pieces in the Premier League this season. Started all of the games, called up to the England squad.
I want to throw one name in it though, that I know that people at home will be saying, not even a chat about Ben White.
You know what, Ben White has been incredible, but I think in that position, Trippier is just, like you said, the assists, how he's been playing, the consistency has been next level. And Ben White has obviously been mentioned in the England team for a reason, because he's a great player. But Trippier, I think, from when he's left to go to Atletico, which isn't easy, still made a mark there. And to come back to the Premier League, to Newcastle, and now look where Newcastle are, I think it's a credit to Trippier.
Yeah, Ben White's a good shout. It's a good season. Don't want to make this all about England, but we are comparing them. Obviously, Reece James had a great start, but is injured now. You've got Trent as well. Who starts for you for England at right back then?
Off form, Trippier.
Trips.
Off form, Trippier.
If it's a back four, Trippier. Yeah.
Okay, let's put him up then. Simple.
Right. Let's get him up. Let's move to centre-backs then, because I think we might have some agreement over centre-backs as well, potentially.
Yes.
In here. One of the names is absolutely nailed on, right? William Saliba.
Saliba.
What a player.
What a player. For me, personally, he's been the best centre-back in the Premier League this season. I think I went to go watch the Nottingham Forest game at the Emirates, and he was absolutely on point. He just knows how to read the game, great passer of the ball, and he makes that defence look unbeatable. It makes Gabriel look like a better defender as well, and I think every team needs a player like him.
Still only 21, called up to the French squad as well. And there's a lot of competition for places in that area for France. So let's stick him up then, if that's an easy one.
Let's go.
Yeah. And then the other centre-back, the left-sided centre-back. Now, this one caused a bit of debate, I think.
Yeah, it did, because, well, not for me anyway. For everyone else it did, but for me, I think Lisandro Martinez has been Manchester United's best player. He's made us feel much more assured in the back, of course, with Varane, but Varane's injured right now. But even with Lindelof taking Varane's place, he's just been incredible.
What a player, man.
Like, for someone who's that short, I don't know how he's able to
What have you made of the criticism from certain sections about his height before coming in? And having seen him play, what would you say about
I think it's understandable,
aimed at him?
because in football, over the years, we've seen that the shorter defenders kind of struggle against bigger players. But he is just... I don't know. I've never seen a player like this who's able to control the game like that. He is the butcher for a reason. I've seen him play live many times, and the tenacity that he has is second to none.
That's the word, tenacity.
Yeah.
And I think when we're talking about Ben White and Kieran Trippier, the thing with Kieran Trippier is that there's a kind of a ripple effect from him as a player to the rest of the team. He makes players around him better. That's the same with Martinez. Yeah. And you wouldn't expect that. There were concerns about his height. I think I probably would have said it myself. But the tenacity that he shows, I think it rubs off on the rest of the squad and the team, which I think that was a real problem last year. And I think he's a real leader for it.
Even like players like slapping each other's hands when the ball goes off after a challenge, like, that's stuff we wasn't seeing last season, and he's an integral part
Stuff
of
that the fans like.
I want to throw another name in here again, though. Sven Botman.
Yeah, Newcastle fans will be annoyed about that. I get that.
I'm a massive Martinez fan. Obviously, I agree with you. He's been Man United's best player this season. But United have looked at times suspect defensively, especially at the start of the season, where Martinez was involved, substitute at half-time against Brentford. Botman is part of the best defensive unit in the entire league. Just joined the Premier League too. Very unlucky not to go to the World Cup with Holland. Incredibly unlucky not to be in that squad, in my opinion.
They are stacked with a lot of
players.
I
do think Sven Botman is a decent left-sided shot.
Quietly going about his business as well, as someone who has come in. Newcastle United fans will be annoyed, but don't worry. I've got it covered.
So let's get Martinez up then, because we know...
Should give an honorary mention to Thiago Silva.
He's more on your side, Jim, but you might be able to reach him better.
Thiago Silva, a lot of Chelsea fans watching will probably chuck Thiago Silva's name in the mix, but I think no one can disagree with those two top players. Left back. Now, there's a bit of disagreement here.
This. So, get ready, ladies and gentlemen at home. Get ready.
Okay, so
this.
Go on, Harry, you first.
I've gone with Castagna, and the reason why I've picked him, even
Joe's
though he's
face.
not, I know.
Oh, yeah.
The reason why I picked him, was because at the beginning of the season, Leicester were absolutely horrible, and they've got better and better, and he's been an integral part of it. Now, obviously, I couldn't put him as a right back, but as a full back, he can play both. I think he's been incredible. He probably isn't going to make it onto this team, but my personal favourite for left back.
Joe,
would
your
be
face
him.
is a picture there.
Well, I just think this is team of the season so far, isn't it? So for half of that, Leicester as a unit were not able to function defensively, were they?
But when they've got better, he's been part of that.
I agree. I think it's 6 clean sheets in the last 7 games, or 5 and 6. They've definitely turned it around, but we're 13, 14 games in here. I think you've got to take the other half into account too. But I think he's having a good season.
5 clean sheets in the last 7, Leicester City.
He's quite an attacking fullback as well, and I'm not sure he offered too many assists as well. So from that side of it as well, that's why Dan Burn needs. He's just missed out.
Where's Cancelo, man?
Sorry.
Where's Cancelo?
I'm sure he's wherever he is. I'm sure he's very happy. But Look, again, really the theme continues. Exceeding expectations. Newcastle exceeding expectations. Best defence in the league. He's keeping Matt Target out of the team. And I
love the pause.
He has to go in.
The pause.
I just think he's exceeded expectations for me. I think you have to have 2 Newcastle defenders in there. Sven Botman's not made it in because of Martinez. I was struggling for left backs. I get Cancelo.
Can I chuck a name?
Cancelo might have cost Man City the league as well, by the way.
Can I chuck a name in the mix that I haven't seen hardly anyone talk about? Rico Henry for Brentford, I think, has been so consistent. You speak to Brentford fans and they talk about how consistent he is, what he offers. Is he not in any of your thinking at all?
No.
We're trying to make sure there isn't a top 6 bias here, and I think clubs like fans of clubs like Brentford will say He's been brilliant this season, hasn't he?
He has, and the way that they play has been more focused on their fullbacks, and so that's benefited him somewhat. I don't think that's a terrible shout. I just think Newcastle, it's all built on that defence, and Dan Burn is one of those where you just don't expect him to be as technically good as he is, and then that's ridiculous just because he's tall. But be it centre back or left back, he's just super competent, and he's done brilliant for them.
Yeah, he has. I know our producer Foz is a big Newcastle fan. Yeah. He wanted Dan Burn, didn't he? He wanted Dan Burn in the team.
Let's go to midfield then, shall we?
Yes.
Okay.
Midfield options. Do we want to start more defensive? Because I know I've seen both your teams. There's some similar names in there. In fact, there's two.
Yeah. Who have you agreed on then? Let's go with that. There's one name, surely.
KDB, of course.
Obviously.
Less is more about this player. For me, the best centre mid player I've ever seen play in the Premier League.
Ever in the Premier League history?
Ever. I think for me, it just levels and levels and levels. And when you think he might be done, he goes and does it again. And with Haaland now, it's just going to be assist galore. He's incredible.
Where does he rank for you in terms of greatest midfielders in Premier League history, James?
He is. I'm thinking him and Gerrard. I'm struggling to think of anyone else who kind of gets to that.
Scholes.
Scholes a little bit different. In terms I always go to Gerrard because I think he was all action. But KDB, in terms of the quality that he provides, the output is outrageous. I'm quite harsh on Man City generally because they dominate every game and they play every game in the opposition's half. And so that does make it a little bit easier for you to have a certain amount of output. But, he's just got the vision. He's just got a wonder of
the range of assists as well.
The way he strikes a football.
It's a joke. Left foot, right foot, header. He's fast. He can do everything.
You can get bogged down by the numbers a lot of time with the assists, but it's actually the quality of the assists as well, and the numbers are both crazy.
But he destroys it with the numbers as well. He's destroying my FPL season because I can't
get him in the team then.
Where are we putting him? Let's put him over this.
I think you need it a bit higher there, don't you? Because we've got.
James is trying not to fall out of his chair.
Yeah, you're good.
Is there another name that you agree on?
There is, I think. The slightly more attacking option.
Maddis. I've gone for Maddison. I think for me, he's a player who we all thought that he's a very talented player, but it just wasn't working probably last season. But this season, he's definitely come out as a brilliant player, arguably one of the best players in the league, with goals, assists, free kicks, everything, and he's integral to Leicester's newfound form. So I think Maddison, and of course he's been added to the England team, rightly so as well.
Yeah, totally agree. I think it's output with him we've been waiting for. We've seen there's other little metrics where he's always been good, he's always been tidy, he always gets into good areas, but the output's been there. He's got this new little finish that he seems to go near post. That feels like it's his, which I quite like about him as well. And I think he's a good lad, isn't he?
Yeah,
I like Maddison.
Great guy. He honestly is such a good guy. Newcastle had 2 bids rejected for him, didn't they, in the summer, reportedly. Do you think that would have been a good move for Maddis? Is that something that can still happen, do you think, in the future?
I think there's a space there probably for him. Newcastle fans would be devastated. Do you still get Joe Linton in the team? I guess there's another place there. You can still get him in there. If he does move there, that takes Newcastle to a new level. I think he's a really, really special player in special form at the moment and could make a big difference for England going into this World Cup. I'm delighted Gareth's gone with him.
Yeah. I've got to say as well, looking at the reaction before the squad, he's probably the name that not even Leicester fans, but so many people wanted to be called up there because of the form he's in. Top player, top bloke,
get him up there.
And he's on the board.
All right, the other central midfielder, maybe a bit of disagreement over, or it's not really. This is the thing, isn't it? Because you've kind of got a player that's not really playing in the centre mid, but you're playing him in a midfield role. You've got an actual out-and-out centre mid.
So I'll see what James.
It's been quite amicable this so far. So let's see where we go with this. No, that's fine.
Just we get on. Bruno Guimaraes. He's the best, easily the best midfielder outside of that big six that everyone talks about all the time. He is so good, and. What with me, I love my average positions, and often there's players.
You do.
There's players that they kind of have a little force field around them because the rest of the team goes, oh, he's got the ball, I can go over here now, and that's one of my favourite things about him. He can have the ball anywhere, and that makes other players look decent. His passing range, his dribbling ability. I think he's in like the top 12% for dribbling, tackling, and passing. That's so complete. He's wonderful, and again. He's going to be there with Brazil. We'll just see if he starts.
Do you think he will? Because obviously that squad is phenomenal, isn't it?
Absolutely incredible.
There's very few teams that, if he's available for me, he doesn't start in. So I'd be amazed if they don't put him in there. And I think he's played quite well for them in the moments that he has done. Just so complete for me. I think if you were saying one Newcastle player in this team that needs to be in there, very close between him and Trippier, I think I would still go with him.
3 goals, 2 assists in the Premier League this season. Call up to the Brazil squad as well. Newcastle fans absolutely love him, by
It's
the way.
incredible they managed to get hold of him. No offence to Newcastle, but at the time when they first signed Bruno, it wasn't like they're at the heights they are now, are they? And he was being linked to clubs like, Liverpool's and Arsenal's and stuff. And
I remember doing a video at the time, and I was like, I don't know how they've got this guy, and like no one really knew much about him, but he's awesome, and he's so good looking, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Talking of Arsenal players, I mentioned there. I just want to throw this guy's name in the hat.
Thomas Partey,
yeah. Thomas Partey. I think he's having an outrageous season.
I think also I did pick Trossard, even though he's not a CM, but I just feel like he's played in that role in terms of just being able to float in and out of that Brighton midfield.
Playing very well.
Very well,
he's
scoring
got
a lot of
7 goals and 2
that's
assists
a lot
already.
of goals. I think he's like, whenever you look at the who scored for Brighton, it's either Trossard's either set the player up or scored. But I'll go with Bruno.
Yeah, and Trossard's in my team.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But just different location.
Yeah.
So just to confirm, you're going with Bruno.
We'll go with
as
Bruno.
the third midfielder.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
The Arsenal fans are going to be annoyed, aren't they?
No, they're not.
They should be.
They shouldn't be.
No Xhaka.
Because the next player I've got. So
No
we're doing
Thomas Partey.
4-3-3, right?
4-3-3 is what you agreed on.
So my right winger
Yeah.
is Saka. I've gone with Saka. I think since the Euros, I've only seen an increase in his delivery, his talent. He's very important to the build-up play with Arsenal as well. I think he's so strong. I think when he doesn't play, you see how weaker of a team Arsenal are. And for me, I don't think on that right side there's been any player in the Premier League that's played better than him.
4 goals, 6 assists in the Premier League. Do you know what I love about Saka as well? So many players now in this, you play the safe option. He's so direct. He's always going forward, isn't he? He's the player that gets fans off their seat. I think we really saw that in the Euros. He's just always going forward.
So young as well.
So young, yeah.
And I
but you're not having him in your team, James, just to confirm.
We can't have a team without this man.
But the thing is,
are we still talking about? Okay, well let's.
Yeah.
So all right.
Okay.
You've got
we've got to find our boy Trossard, who you did have in. You might have to exclude now.
Saka or Trossard this season is the question.
7 goals for Trossard for Brighton.
Look.
3 goals against Liverpool.
Top
4
of the
goals
league.
and 6 assists for Saka.
At the moment, we've got one Arsenal player in there who are top of the league, having their best season in a decade.
James, meet me halfway.
I know. So I'm sort of battling with the amicable thing, and also the fact that Saka's really good. So I get that.
So we've got
twice we're going to pass on him.
So does that mean
you had him in your team, actually.
No, I've got. And this is my point.
Where's Almiron?
Almiron's here, but we both got Almiron.
Are you playing him left wing?
I mean, I'm not bothered.
Yeah.
Almiron's got to be in, surely.
Sorry.
It's a big point.
Sorry. I mean, no, he plays on the right, doesn't he? So yeah, maybe I need to go with Almiron then.
I think you've got a battle here. I don't think you can have.
Okay, so
Saka or Almiron.
I've got Almiron.
You've got Almiron.
Yeah. So my 3 was going to be him, and the next.
So you're playing Almiron out of position, left wing.
Yeah.
See, I think Saka's better on the left.
All right.
Where are you playing Almiron then?
On the right.
All right. So
let me do Almiron on the right. Battle.
Okay, cool.
Right, ready?
All right.
So Trippier
Yes.
has been amazing, and he has facilitated our boy Almiron. Okay, and all these goals. Yes, you're playing him on the right, but he's actually playing up front pretty much. And Almiron doesn't score all those goals or have that license to get as far forward and score these world-class banger goals if he's not on that right-hand side with Trippier. So if you've got Trippier in there and we're trying to make a team that's going to do something this year, it's got to be Almiron on the right side.
Still at one Arsenal player here. We're still at one Arsenal player.
Fans will not be happy.
Saka has to be in this team for me, and I think I think he's so good that he can actually go on the left or play on the right. Whereas Almiron's strongest position right now is on the right.
So you want to play Saka out of position on the left?
He has to.
I can live without Trossard.
Yeah, Saka has to be in his team.
I can't live without Almiron.
No. I can't live without.
That just leaves one space. Where's Harry Kane?
For the number 9.
Well,
let's get into that.
As
Almiron Player of the Month. So yeah, who? Obviously,
don't tell me you've left Kane out.
Have you left Kane out of your team?
well, do you want to show?
Well, so I was pretty.
Have you left Haaland and Kane out of your team?
I was pretty certain.
Wow.
With who Harry was going to go for, and I was pretty certain you were going to do that high-pitched voice that you just did there.
I don't know what you mean.
So I just wanted to shine a light on someone who everyone has said isn't good enough for the Premier League and has now proven that he is definitely good enough for the Premier League.
I know who you're going to say, Mitrovic.
And that's Mitrovic.
Oh,
But
I don't expect him to get on there.
Yeah.
But in terms of players who've exceeded expectations once again, Haaland, we were expecting the goals. Kane, we were expecting the goals. Mitrovic, and Fulham, no one had gave him a chance.
He has been great.
Year, and he's been amazing. And that's why I just wanted to give him a moment.
So Kane and Haaland aren't in your team, just to confirm from a high-pitched squeak.
Surely Haaland's in, right?
Yeah, Haaland's in my team.
Yeah, I'm not expecting to win this one.
Fine.
Okay.
But I just wanted
Honourable mention, though, to Mitrovic, because I was tweeting about him every game that he played in to say that he's incredible. You don't score 40 goals in one season and come into the Premier League and be a failure.
Okay. He has been brilliant.
So if Haaland goes on, Harry Kane, who's scoring at nearly a goal a game.
Yeah, Haaland's doing ridiculous things like scoring a hat-trick against Man United. He's proven that he is going to be the future of football because he's scoring all type of goals. Champions League.
I agree.
Haaland has to go in. Yeah,
he has to. For me, there's just no like.
I think Joe's point is you have to have Haaland and Kane.
Look,
it's 4-3-3.
For me, I was thinking, with Kane, Kane's been incredible, and
Kane's got 11 Premier League goals already, which I think has gone under the radar because of how many goals Haaland scored, which is 18.
He's on course to break the record, isn't it?
18 is incredible.
Yeah, if Haaland wasn't there, because Haaland's there, I'm sorry.
But could you play? Maybe Kane.
I don't think you can play a team with Kane and Haaland up front.
Did you say play Kane on the left?
Yeah, you can't do that.
Well, Saka's playing on the left at the moment. He don't play there.
Well, it makes sense.
He has played there.
Also, Harry Kane does drop into number 10 positions quite regularly.
That means we'll be basically accommodating for Harry Kane in a situation where he actually can't
accommodate for one of the world's best strikers.
But he is the on-form striker in the world right now.
Yeah.
So
the first thing you said was, "Are we happy with 4-3-3?"
Well,
and that's what we had.
James is on one today.
He's brutal, James, isn't he? He's got the World Cup gig and he's giving it.
A Ralph Rangnick 4-2-2-2.
Who?
A
Ralph who?
Bruno and KDB, Almiron and Maddison split. Haaland,
Don't
Kane
say that name here again.
Sure. Look, I think this is bang on.
Okay, what I will say, it's not Joe and I's team, it is your team.
Yours.
It's what you want to do. Let us know what you think at home. We'll do managers as well, shall we? Who have you gone with for manager of the season so far? Because there's a disagreement here as well. So, Harry?
I've gone with the one and only Mikel Arteta. I think from last season, even me watching a documentary, The All or Nothing, I was able to understand what type of manager this man is, and he's an incredible manager. One for the team. He enlightens the players, makes them believe that they can win games, and that's why they're top of the league right now. They've been exceptional. So yeah, I'm going with Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, brain and heart holding hands in heart.
Yeah.
I've got, again, I like to go rogue. I've got Marco Silva. So, predictions at the start of the season.
Relegation.
Where did you have Fulham?
Relegated.
Where did you have Fulham?
Not where they are now. Yeah.
Right, where did you have Fulham?
Relegation.
Yeah, they're 9th.
Yeah.
And playing good football. Slapping teams.
Yeah.
I think it's gone under the radar. And I think Arsenal have been really hard done by in this.
Yeah.
But they are the sum of their parts. So I get the Arteta shout. But I just feel like Fulham are really, really surprised a lot of people this year. And Marco Silva, to do it and not play defensively, I think it's really impressive.
What about this man here, Eddie Howe?
Yeah.
I've got to say on this very show.
Yes,
Harry,
Smithy. I remember when I.
you and Joe had a big disagreement.
Yes, I remember saying that. I think Eddie Howe. I think there was a time when Solskjaer was about to leave United. I was like, listen, he would be a great replacement because Eddie Howe.
For Man United,
he's done well with Bournemouth, and this man over here,
I didn't think it was the right
Joe
fit.
was like, he laughed at me. He made me feel like I don't know what football is.
I didn't think it was the right fit, but he's obviously an amazing fit for Newcastle.
So I just want everyone to know that Joe doesn't know what he's talking about. But yeah,
I respect that.
Eddie Howe's great, but I just think if we're going to look at the whole season and how things have been, the games that Arsenal, usually lose and so on and so forth, they haven't done, and they've looked very, very much in control. And I think they're the best team in the league at this current moment. So to not have the manager,
given that we've only got 2 Arsenal players and they are top of the league.
Okay,
sorry, James.
Stunning football.
Sorry,
so there is confirmation of their team and manager of the season. Let us know what you think at home.